Hey everyone, Mr. B here. Today I'm going to be introducing you to Project 4, which was just approved by Mr. Dillon. It's a pretty important project. It's a little bit different than some of the other ones we've been working on. The other ones have been, as you might suspect, very focused on figuring out and learning certain things about chemistry and physics. This project is going to be a little different. We're going to replace a little bit of what we would have been learning at the very beginning of the year, but due to some things that the teachers were doing, we pushed it back until right now. Okay, so we're going to be learning more about how you can tell if things you read about science on the internet are true, how you can find true information, how science can help us do that. Okay, so the first thing, as sort of some background for this, is COVID. We all know about COVID. COVID's a horrible pandemic. It's literally, tragically, has taken the lives of people in our own community, and it's affecting what we do every single day, and everyone wants COVID just to go away. But did you know that COVID, there are certain conspiracy theories going around about COVID. A conspiracy theory is basically just a, it's an idea that people have that they think that COVID is fake, or that someone created COVID to do something to the U.S. politically, to influence the election, that kind of thing. Conspiracy theories, there are conspiracy theories about almost everything, and they're almost always false, and you can tell that if you develop the skills. Especially, it's especially important to develop the skills to see if something that you read on the internet is true. Okay, so here are a couple of the conspiracy theories going around about COVID right now. So part of it is that people are blaming the new 5G phones for spreading COVID, which is just not true. You can't spread a virus using a phone. Another one is that they say that Bill Gates created COVID. I don't know if you guys know who Bill Gates is. He's a really rich guy who does a lot of charity work, which doesn't really make sense why Bill Gates would create COVID if he's doing a bunch of charity work. Another one is that the virus escaped from a Chinese lab. As if you read through this webpage, you'll see that it's possible, like scientifically plausible, that it did it, but basically all of the science says that it probably came from an animal, maybe a bat or a pangolin, different animals in China. Some people think that it's a biological weapon, which means it was created by another government to hurt Americans. So there's a bunch of these. I'm not going to read through all of them. But you can see how it's really important that everyone understands exactly what's going on in the world so that we can take appropriate action. We can do things that we're supposed to do in order to get better from the pandemic. Okay? So it's really important. There's other things going on. There's something called QAnon, which I'm not going to delve into as much right now, but it's a conspiracy theory as well. It's influencing politics in a negative way. There's all sorts of bad things floating around on the internet, and it's really important that you, as people who are going to be running the world one day, develop the ability to see what's true and what isn't true on the internet. Okay, so that's what we're doing with this project. So here's the directions for the project. By the way, this project is also meant to be a little bit shorter, so you guys should appreciate that. So it says right here, if we read the little intro paragraph, part of the job of a scientist is to help, can't seem to highlight the correct thing here, it's fine, help combat the spread of misinformation. As an astronaut on Mars, your family knows that you can tell which sources of information on the internet are most reliable. Reliable means that we know that they're true, okay? In order to help them, you have volunteered to do some studies into a couple of websites and some math to figure out which ones are the most reliable or the most true. And it says, good thing you have internet on Mars. Hopefully they have internet on Mars. I don't know. We'll see. So here's the list of websites right here. I'm going to try not to click on them so we don't go to the websites, because I just want you to look at the list. So here's the list. There's 6 of them, okay? Some of them are really reliable websites. Some of them are fake websites that tell things that aren't true. And I gave you in Otis a checklist, a little worksheet that's going to help you go through, and it's a bunch of questions about these websites, and it's going to help you go through and see which ones are true and which ones are false. So if a website gets 6 or more yes responses on the worksheet's called the CRAP worksheet, then it can be considered reliable. So the first thing you're going to do is go through the websites and fill out the worksheet for each one of them. Also watch the video that I made on Otis. There's a different video about credible sources. Then you're going to evaluate all the websites. That's these first 2 bullet points. Now, after that, you're going to do a little bit of math. You're going to have to find the mode of all the scores for the website. You're going to have to find the median score, because you're going to get a number for each of these websites, how many yes answers you got. If it's a really good website, it's going to have like 9 yeses. If it's really bad, it might have 1 or 2. And so you're going to find the mode of all those scores. You're going to find the median. We're going to talk about what these things are in class, by the way. You're also going to find the mean for all of the websites. And then you're also going to find the mean for the .com websites, the .net websites, the .org websites, and the .gov websites. So you can see if you look at the websites, there's ones that are .com, ones that are .gov, ones that are .net. And so that'll help you figure out, that's going to help us see which of those websites, if a website's a .org or a .net, whatever, if that'll tell us something about if it's more reliable. Then you're going to explain which of those, the .org, .com, .net, or .gov websites are more reliable in 3 or more sentences. And then you're going to write a 1-page paper explaining why it's important to evaluate whether things on the internet we read are reliable. And there's some additional questions that'll help you kind of figure that out, or fill up a full page, I guess. How can we tell if something we see on the internet is reliable? What bad things might happen if people believe things on the internet that aren't true? How can we help others know if something on the internet is reliable? So something we're going to change a little bit for this project too is that before you turn it in, I want you to come show it to me, and I'm going to check it to see if you're missing anything. That's something Mr. Dillon wants us to be doing, so we're going to be doing that. And then the second page, you can see the standards, which is the things that the state of Idaho wants you to be able to do that this project will address. And most of it is using data to check to see if things are true with science, okay? So that is Project 4.